Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is the professor with Day Trading for Success. Another great day of trading. I'm going to be showing you as fast as I can here how you can build the perfect open strategy layout so that you can kind of change it however you want. I'll show you the one that I have now, although, you know, they're ever changing. And although I do offer links all the time on how to get the layout that I have, if you just learn to build it yourself, which is really not that hard, it's pretty fun actually. Then it's like SimCity or Age of Empires or something. Building things is kind of fun. So it's pretty basic how to do this. I will go over this. I will not be making this layout available at the end though. So if that's what you're waiting for, the purpose of this tutorial video is so that you can do it yourself. I do have one that you can get, quite a few of them through different videos, but I really think if you guys learn this, it would be really helpful for you. So I'm going to go over this. Please read this disclaimer. This is an entertainment channel. You should seek the advice of a licensed professional before you try to emulate any of the strategies on this channel. Okay, we won't be trading today though. So this is what your open screen looks like right now. So, and when you go to charts, this is how it should start though, default. You go to charts. If you'll notice, I'm on flexible grid. Should show it to the left of my picture. Yeah, it does show it there. And this is how that starts. Now, I like to, this is the key to, and that's right up here. If you want to get it off flexible grid, you get rid of those little boxes, you go right there. If you want to get it off flexible grid and you just want to build from a chart and you start your own building, you can do it there and drag them in. But this is really the easiest way to build layouts. So the key to all this is figure out how many things you want to see across your screen, and then the up and downs come later. So the different planes left to right first. So I'll start with just Xing out this top one, and I have 3 planes, but I'll actually add a 4th right here. All right, and then we'll start to build from here. Then I'm going to add one down below this one. This one's going to stay just like it is. I'll explain what all these are. I know what I'm going to do for the most part here. So I'm going to add one here and then another one here. And then over here, I'm going to add 2 more as well. So this will be the number of things that I have on my screen. They'll all be various sizes, though easy to read. Now, the next thing I want to do is link them all. Now, the default that comes up is a chart. So you can see all these charts are filling in. Just get these marked. One of these I'm going to make red at the bottom here because that's going to be the SPY. So I don't want that to link to whatever stock I'm trading. And then that's here. Okay, so then I will just type in SPY now. And actually, there'll be one more down here. There'll be the news. That will be green. Okay, so now you can see it has all the sidebar here, so you can pick whatever you want. In this particular case, I know this is going to be a chart, so I'm going to click that sidebar off. Here, I'm going to make it level 2, so I'm going to click the sidebar, click off the chart first. It'll just make a chart, so you got to be careful. And then here is going to be time and sales. So I'll check off the chart. I know if you've watched mine, you don't normally see me do this, but I'm going to show you the ultimate way that I know a lot of the other people trade this way, and they bring it up to me that I don't show you guys. So I'm going to show you guys here. So this is going to be a chart as well. So if you drag this down, this will be enough to open up here. Sometimes it's not enough to open up. So I am going to keep that a chart, and I'll show you why in a minute. So now we'll drag this back up out of the way again. And now we're going to make this the active trader. And we'll get rid of the chart again, and then get rid of the sidebar. And then we're going to make this a, this is going to be a chart. And actually, I need another chart down here. So I just realized. So this should be green. These are both going to be charts. And so I can get rid of the sidebars on those. And then this is going to be a 5-minute chart, so I can get rid of the sidebar on those. Actually, these are all going to be charts except the bottom one. That's SPY. This will be day up here. This will be news. So this I should set to news now and then get rid of the chart. So news, get rid of the chart, get rid of the sidebar. Okay, so now we can get rid of all that sidebar nonsense, and then I can get rid of all the customizable grid, so it just gets it out of our way. Now, I knew to do that to build this, and I probably got something wrong, and I'll have to come back and do it. Oops, I didn't get this sidebar off here. Flexible grid back on. Did I get all the sidebars off everywhere? It makes a difference for screen size, so you want to get those off. Now I'll take it off of customizable grid, and now we don't have any nonsense here. So now you can drag these things over. So we'll talk about time and sales in a minute, but let's start with this right here. So let me get some of these markings off here. Clear drawing set. So clear the drawing set for what's talking about NVIDIA. So there's always something going on. So now I already have a video on how to do charts, how to set them up and everything. So I won't start from scratch here. What I'll do is I'll go into a style, because I know this is going to be a 1 minute, and I'm going to load a 1 minute chart. So we're just going to load that up, and then I'm going to expand this so we can work on it a little bit. This is kind of an old one. So we'll go into the, this is the studies, right? And we're going to see what I have in here. So I have a 9 moving average, a 20, and a VWAP. So this is an old custom indicator. I still use this from time to time. So if you go to episode 83, you can see all the custom indicators and load them for free. There also is just put out a video a couple of days ago, I think, that shows how to, if you're not sure how to load the scripts or the layouts that are free, there's a video I just put out, and it's the title of it is How to Load Layouts and Scripts. It's just like an episode or so ago. But I'm going to X that out because I don't want that. So this is just going to be a basic chart. Apply that. But I do need to get rid of this grid, so we're going to go to Appearance. And I'm going to get rid of that grid and completely. And the background's black, so everything should be okay otherwise. And that gives me a nice, clean chart. So that's what I'm looking. Oh, I am going to do one more thing here, actually, guys. Not that. No, not that. Sorry, studies. I think these are a little thin, so I'm going to go in here and make these 2s. Okay. I think the VWAP's already a 2, probably, yeah. And then I'll make that a 2 if it's not. Yeah, it's not. That just helps me see the moving averages a little bit better. Apply. So that chart will be done. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. Actually, it's not done. Okay, there's a couple more things we want to do to make the perfect. So let's go into DTS. So this will be the custom scripts. So I'm going to add a grid, and I'm going to add the halt indicator. So since we are covering so many different kinds of open strategies, I just want to always apply and then say, okay, I just want to make sure that we have everything you would need. So up here is the halt indicator for real momentum trading that, a lot of people don't do that in Thinkorswim, but you can do it. It is definitely possible to do it. So then the other thing is the, let's go on to level 2. So this is level 2. I'm going to shrink this chart for now so you can see level 2. Now this has a certain look about it. And if you've seen my normal videos, you see that I've moved my picture over a little bit. And the reason why is because this is the TD Ameritrade, my last account I've left over here. They move it in May, and then all the rest I'm over at Schwab now. So I could not hide enough of the account, so I put my picture over it. And also the next thing I'm going to show you, I couldn't hide my account. If I opened up the applications, it'll show my account for some weird reason. So I opened up a different one to show you why the level 2 is different. So this level 2 here is very, very easy to read, and that's because it's on old. If you go to, you open up and you go down to, once you open up the application settings, go to look and feel, and then you want to go to old school and set it that way, and then it looks like this, and it's way easier to read. So that's a little trick for doing the layout. I'll get rid of that now. So these two things are now done, and now we'll move on. So now what I'm going to try to attempt to do here is I'm going to try, and I'll talk about each thing on here. I'm trying to attempt to make it so I have a visual sort of like around here of everything I need to see to make a quick one. And then everything else will be for a little bit bigger looking. So we'll start up here at the top next to this And we're going to open up this chart, and we're going to make this into a cool chart too. So let's go to a style that I already have downloaded. Remember, I have a video that shows you how to do your own charts here. Oh God. So that one has a grid and everything. I didn't think it did. I don't want to do all the grid. I guess I'll just do that 1 minute here. Okay. So I have to go and do the same thing again, but I'm going to just take off these, yeah, I need to, so I'm going to take off that. And then, yeah, unfortunately, guys, I got to change all this stuff. Nope. Yeah, here. Okay, 2. This will take a little bit of time. Get it all set up perfect. So I'm kind of showing you where to do these things, which is great. Now, this one, we need to put in a custom script as well. And I'm going to put in the $1 Million Margin Club's scalping indicator. So I've added it over here, apply, and put it in. Now, I want to watch this. This is a custom script that is amazing, and you're going to want to download this for free on episode 83. And there's a whole bunch of different episodes that have this, and there's different versions of this, so you might want to look around. Usually, the thumbnails will say free custom script. You should always look at those videos and see what's in there, right? So now let's get rid of this grid again. Okay, nice and clean. So you double click that and that should close. So we want to stretch this up so that this becomes this. I'm barely looking at this chart. It's here, but I'm barely looking at it. And I can't change it to 1 minute. I mean 5 minute, excuse me, which would be great because then I could see the 5 minute closer. My 5 minutes is going to be over here. So when you're looking for alignment, and I'll show you about this grid in a minute that probably looks crazy to you. Oh, and I didn't do my tools either. Okay. Let's catch up on a few other things we need to do here. So let me go into this. No. We go into this. That's what I'm looking for. And put my tools, which will go on every chart now. And apply and say okay. And then let me go here. They're pinned, but this one's pinned. So you can pin or unpin it if you don't like it up there. And now let's create the tools that you're going to need. So I'm going to need to, sorry, I need to change this tool. Okay, hang on. Open it up, then you can change the tool. So change the tool, rename the button. No, just change the tool. So drawing tool, I want to have a price level there. It's under my picture, I think, unfortunately. Should have done this someplace else, but I'll show you on a different one. And then I want to change the button to a pan. And then I'm going to add a button. And I want to change that to a Fibonacci retracement. And then I want it, nope, that didn't seem that came out right. Change button action. Fibonacci retracement. Huh, that doesn't look right. And then I'm going to do a rectangle. Tool. Now I'm going to say done. Let me just expand this for a second. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, just because it wasn't big enough. And I'm going to expand this just so you can see that grid goes away. That grid is showing on a 1 minute chart when 5 minutes close, when the 5 minutes close. So you can see, so you can look over at the 5 minute chart and try to get alignment. Now you can do that by watching the clock, but when you're trying to just stay focused on quick scalps, every little bit of help you can get is helpful. The other thing I do is little bit of help you can get is helpful. I mean, every little trick you can do that helps you read these faster. And we probably want to switch to on demand in a minute just so we see some action here, but because the market's closing. Yeah, it's closed already. That's why even NVIDIA moves even when it's closed. Look at it go. So we can zoom in on this a little bit and you can see the scalpers indicator. And then now that we have the tools, so all the tools are across all the charts now because I put them there. So they should stay everywhere. They're not locked on all the charts yet. We haven't finished these charts, but now let's go to Active Trader and I'll show you what I do with that. So for on the Active Trader, I'll start with this little burger here, and I'll customize this. This is what I like to do. I get rid of the buy sells. I slide that one up one. You can just drag those, and I say okay, and I get a nice clean look for the things that I like to see if you've seen me trade before. Now let's deal with the buttons. First off, push this down. We want to make sure we're on auto send. That's so important if you're a scalper. And then, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Then here on the gear wheel, we can just drag these things away. I don't use flatten here. I want the quantity of buttons up on the first line, and then I want to have cancel all right there. Now you can also just add them and then step them up or drag them up. So all that is what I really need to do market ordering. But if you're going to do, buy the bid and sell the ask, you could drag those over if you're doing partials. This is just the way that I trade for you guys. So, and typically you should say apply. I think I didn't do that, but I did it anyway. Now I don't use the ladder, so I'm not going to muss with trying to pull some of these away. If I did, I'd probably get rid of a few of these and make it a little tighter when I used to use the ladder. Now, actually, let's talk about the ladder for a second. So, when we're trading the open strategy, we have, we'll market the pre-market low on a 30-minute, on a between 7:30 and 9:15, on a 15-minute, and even on a 5-minute after it breaks the first. There's going to be like 5 different open strategies that we will be putting out. So you can adapt this. Knowing how to build it is so ideal because you can adapt this to any one of them and very quickly, within minutes, seconds, really, for whatever strategy you're trading. So I'm going to make this chart down here. Oh, so what I was about to say about the ladder was, if you are going to jump in at a pre-market high or pre-market low, like the strategy would say, or whatever the lines, whether because I haven't been using the ATRs on the demonstration videos, but you really should have them. The close of day, you really should have it marked. There's a whole bunch of stuff that will, once the beta testing is over, we're going to have a specific call out of what you should do. And I'll go over that whole layout once it's done. It's not quite done yet. And they'll be putting a book out about it and everything. But what I'm trying to say is, once you have those levels, a lot of people do put the level on the ladder so it doesn't shoot by them. They just put it there so they're not having to sit there hovering over the button. So you can put, a buy order on the ladder at this exact price of the pre-market if it's getting toward that. And then you're in at least, and then you just got to worry about getting out. At least the way that we show trading. Okay, so let me go up here. So now we have another chart here that we're going to want to make. I'm going to make this into a 15-minute. So let me go to the style. I believe I have a style for a 15-minute, I hope. Yep. Okay, so it's on a 15-minute. It's real clean. There's nothing I need to do to that. So that's just going to stay right. Oh, this is the one thing. See how far away it is from the edge, guys? So you should set your time axis for like 10 or 20. You don't want to make it 0. But you want to get it closer. If you make it 0, it'll go right up to the edge, and you can't tell, if that's really the last candle. So I kind of keep it back a little bit, So that's a 15-minute. And then we're going to do this one down here as a 30-minute. As you know, that's one of the guidelines we do. I don't believe I have a 30-minute style, so I'll just load the 15-minute and then change it up here to 30 minutes. And I'm going to want the 30-minute to be 10-day. So I'll make sure that's a 10-day. I should have done the 15-minute at 10-day. I don't know what it's at. So let's double check it. Oh, I didn't take off these things either. They're not, it's not that, you don't have to do that. Let's see, is that it? Equities, I think, right? No, that's off. Show corporate actions. I checked that off. Is it time axis? Yeah, here we go. So you can take off the expiration, the rollover, all these things if you don't want them, and just apply. And then the chart gets cleaner. It just depends on how you're trading. Again, this seems like this is way off on the axis. Yeah. So we'll put that at 20. See how it jumped over to the box here. So there is our 30-minute. And now let's just double check. that this is set for 10 days as well. Oops. Nope, 10 days. Okay, so that's set. And while I'm remembering, I did forget something over here, so let's do this. We'll maximize this again, and we're going to go inside the studies, and we're going to put in volume profile. Okay, so that over, add selected, apply, say okay. So now the volume profile is in. Now let's straighten it out a bit. Now there's a lot of videos on how to set this up for intraday. I'll show you again right here. Switch this yes to no. I lower the opacity to 30. Yes, I could have typed that in. And then I scan down here, and now we have the value high and the value low here. So let's click on the value high. So that's when it's coming up this way and it's getting near the end of the value high. You want arrows pointing down. So I'm going to make that green, and then I'm going to open up the arrows and I'm going to push the down ones here, right? And then on value low, I'm going to make it red, and I'm going to push the up arrows. Just a little trick I like to do. Okay. Apply. Now it's here, but now we got to do one more thing on the 1 minute. We want to make sure it doesn't say day, it says today. Okay, and say okay. Now you basically just have volume average from 4 a.m. forward. It's giving you the price action on the volume profile. So for intraday, it becomes very, very handy seeing these come across and the point of control, and you can actually use it for trading in a big way. So, I mean, obviously this is past now, so it's hard to show you, but if you watch any of my videos, you can see how I use the point of control as the magnet and how these price levels will come in. And I'm just going to give you a brief tutorial about that because there still is some confusion. So level 2 in time and sales, which I don't normally ever have up. So let's talk about this for just a minute. So basically, the only real the only prior data we have is the level 2. That's prior data before the stock is being bought or sold. So you can see who's waiting, what the price is. And then once that happens, it comes over here and they make a receipt. They call that the time and sales. And once the time and sales happens, then the candlestick pattern is made based off the time and sales. And then off of that is the histogram, which is basically at the same exact time. It's not, you don't have to wait, and that's where this custom script comes in, and we'll talk about that in just a second. And then what happens on the level 2 here is, I'm just going to give you some tutorial as we're building this. So basically, I used to be an auctioneer, so basically these are the people bidding a certain price for the stock, and these are what the people are saying, no, I need this price, I'm only willing to bid that price. And then the market maker, you picture the market maker on a toll booth, and there's a bridge, and you have to cross through that toll booth to go either way, to sell or to buy. Each person is paying the toll to the market maker, so they're going to skim off the top of whatever the sale is. So they're also going to try to, and what they're supposed to do for you in return, they're adding liquidity to the market in a huge way by moving these, by making it able for you to this to happen. And then they're supposed to try to get you, both people, the best possible deal, not just one or the other, but both people the best possible deal. That's how it works. Now that has a lot to do with what's waiting in the queue, the supply and demand type of thing. So there's definitely a formula that goes into this happening in a split second. And remember, this is multiplied by 100, these numbers, and between 50 and 70% are never shown here. This will, if it's not pre-market, or aftermarket, this is extended market. This is all the way filled. The depth goes way, 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 way down. Right now, it's aftermarket, so it's not doing that. But traders that have many shares don't want people to know that it's waiting in the queue. 5,000 shares, 10,000 shares, 50,000 shares, or whatever, because then front runners will come in and, it'll affect the price. So they hide it. And why wouldn't they hide it? In fact, you will find that momentum traders, like I remember I used to trade on Lightspeed momentum, everybody hid their trades because you're dropping in 1, 2, 3, 4,000 shares on low valued stocks, cheaper micro stocks, and you don't want people to see. And if you don't if you can make it so they can't, why wouldn't you do that? So anyway, it's not as big a thing with the $1 trillion, the mega caps, but it still happens a lot. And, there's still dark pools and still, this stuff is probably, people are probably much more worried about it than they should be, about the people stop hunting and dark pools. It does happen. It's not, they don't really care that much about your little share size if you're a retail trader for the most part. But if you're at a level where everybody has a stop loss, well, they might care at that point, because they can, artificially drop it and then they take the profit and it inflates right back up. So sure, that's a smart move where the algorithms can be, basically programmed to do that stuff. Let's face it, guys, they're computers. So yeah, but your little shares out alone somewhere, nobody cares about the stop loss on that. But I prefer to do a mental stop on everything, or brackets or trailing stop if I'm holding more than a split second, more than just a scalping. But anyway, that's how that works. Now, when I look at this, when I did momentum trading on Lightspeed, and I'm not doing large caps, right? I'm not necessarily reading the every share size here and stuff like that. I kind of do, but what happens is everything is going so fast. I'm reading green and red. I'm looking for perfect alignment, and we'll talk about that in a minute as I continue with this layout here. So let me just make sure. So I've got everything done here. So I'm going to minimize this 30-minute. That's how I handle that, right? And I can actually minimize the 15-minute a little bit too. Oops, why can't I get a grip of that? There we go. And so that this all shows up. And what do I need to accomplish right here? Did I make sure I put that on? Yeah, I put auto send on. Okay, so I'm trying to accomplish that I see this, which by the way, this can go up. I see this action moving, this action moving. I see exactly where this 1-minute candle is moving on the edge of my screen. So this would be, right on the edge. That's open session. This is after extended market. But I would be looking, this would be expanded. I'd be looking for this alignment over on a 5-minute chart, which I'm about to put. I'd be looking for this to be spinning through tons of green if I was going up. I'd be looking for a candlestick pattern, and then the grid won't go into the extended, but I'd be looking for the 5-minute to be opening or closing at the end of these 1 minutes. That's what that grid is showing you here. So, and then I'd be looking at the magnet and the volume profile extended, volume profile highs and lows, value, see how it's pushing it back here. So a couple things are happening here. If this was open session, magnets pulling it up for the most part, or it should be. Nothing's for sure, obviously. Who knows? This could just go straight down. I'm just saying, these are the things you look for an edge, and you might be a winner. I don't know. They might work for you, but yeah. So you look for it to, generally you'd think, hey, it might go back up here, a better chance to go up because this is where the action was, right? So after this is red and everything, this is creating the price action over here and just a split second later. So the only thing that's not happened yet is level 2. Then everything else has happened before you can say 1 or even 2. This is all here. So it's, for the most part, it's happening instantaneously. So unless you're really momentum trading and you're just reading the level 2, this is the best you're going to get, is to try to get alignment this way. And on trillion, on huge large caps, the level 2 isn't as helpful as the very, micro mini. Some mid caps you can really use this too. It just depends on what you're trading and what the volatility is and everything. So I'm going to go over the trade again, but what I'll do is, before I do that, let me set these other charts up. So this is going to stay a day chart. Let me expand it. Load style. So we'll go into daily. Oh, guys, come on. Nope. Equities. Nope. Corporate actions. I don't want those. Time axis. I don't want these. There. Everything else there looks great. That's pinned. This is too far from the edge, so we'll fix that. We'll make that a 20. And I'll apply, go back. That's closer to the edge. So that's now, I forgot that was the SPY. Oops. I didn't want to make that a day chart. I'm going to change that to intraday 5-minute. And that is changed because and everything else can stay the same. I want to see how the SPY is moving like right now when I'm scalping. I'll do an overview before I start. So this is the news tool down here. I'll read the news before I start on the stock that has been picked. I'll look at the SPY before I start, and sometimes the Qs I'll look at too. And then I have the 5-minute chart. This is a day. This needs to be a day chart though. Oops. So let's do that style. I'm going to have to go through the same thing all over again. I should have saved it. So day. Oops, that's not a day. That's close enough for now. I would take off the corporate actions and stuff if you. So then I pull the day down and minimize it for screen. So now the last thing we have is I want to build a 5-minute chart here, and this is what you want to look at. You definitely want to. What am I doing? You want a 5-minute chart for. What I'll do? I'll just do the 1-minute chart and no, God. I'm going to do a daily chart and then change it to a 5-minute. It's faster because of these saved things. So I have these all saved. Like I said, you would want to go into watch how to build if you don't know how to build how to set up your charts. Man, I need to get my act together at what I'm doing here. So I am going for intraday 5-minute. Okay, there we go. Jeez, finally got my act together there. And I'm going to go ahead and expand that a bit so I can see what's going on, so we can talk about like a perfect trade here. Okay, so as far as the layout goes, this is pretty much it. Now, if you're not into the time and sales and you don't really care, and I don't use it a lot, I just kind of shrink that over there. It's always there if I need it, if it's a different type of trading, but you can definitely make it smaller and just watch green and red. It's the same thing. But people will go like, you're out of your mind, man. You need to see these share sizes. And, you definitely wouldn't need to see the price if you saw the share sizes, but maybe you would. And maybe you don't need the time. Oh, I absolutely have to have the time. Excuse me. Choking on my own saliva. As you can see, I don't edit. Let me just move that over a little bit. So, as a whole, this is very close to how I would trade this type of look. My eyes are really, I'll go over it. So I am looking at level 2. These will be expanded. These candles with the grid, the scalper's indicator, and then I want my buttons close so I'm not wandering. Then I'm looking over from time to time, especially when we get close to the end of the 5-minute grid here, to see if we have multi-candle alignment, right? So what does that mean exactly? I'll just go over that for you guys before I, we'll call it a day here soon, but we'll talk about it. Now in the book, Day Trading Volume 1, it has the professional trader talking about what to look for an exact setup, as well as the whole RV strategy. The other thing I'm looking for, of course, is patterns. So you're going to want to have a, wherever you see, let me just stick it. I'm losing my train of thought here. So do we have any patterns I can call out here? So yeah, so this is perfect. This pattern right here, which is almost an abandoned baby, is definitely a, where'd it go? Yeah, right there is definitely there we go. Wow, look at that. That's beautiful. That is definitely an abandoned baby. So the father, it's always the father, he's dropped off the kid in a prearranged time, and the mother abandons the no. Who came up with the name of this? I don't know. But this is the baby, and apparently neither the father or the mother want the baby. Or the two fathers or the two mothers, if you want to be politically correct. I don't know. But it's a reversal sign is what it is, right, guys? This is a reversal sign. So that's exactly what happened. So day trading volume 2, it really, and 3 as it goes on, teaches you patterns. It's really important to learn them. So if we were to look at that pattern, let's see, what is that 1530? Let's just go back a second and see what the 5 minutes were doing. So the 5 minutes were right here. This is what the 5 minutes were doing. So the 5 minutes was aligning a reversal. So it kind of has a tall hammer here, but it was lining it up just before it flipped. Actually, here's where it flipped. No, this is the all these red make that one right there, right? And then it flipped right there. And you can see this is the reversal here, and this is coming up. And because the wick is so high here, you know, like most of the body's down here, but for a continuation, if you read your patterns, again, nothing's for sure. Okay, this could be to do totally opposite what I'm saying. But more often than not, if you have completely even, you know, very tight no candles, the move continues. That's a very strong move with very little wicks. The move continued. Same thing here, very strong, very little wick. The move, well, it didn't, you know, it had a little reprieve, but then it continued. So in this particular case, it didn't. It had a big wick up here showing you, if I were looking at the alignment, if I looked at this and then the way it was forming here, those are two things that would tell me go long. And then I would look at the scalper's indicator, which of course you're not going to be able to see very well here. There it is. So here it is coming down here on the 25. So this is it right here. Look, now that's 33. What do we got here? 30. Yeah, so that's actually, oh, that's 32. So this is where it was undeciding down here. Yeah, so that's 30. Yeah, so look at the scalper's indicator. So this just before the sellers, see how low they were on that bar? So this is buyers. These are sellers. Green buyers, red sellers, blue the volume bar. A really important free indicator that we have on our channel, custom script that's totally free, episode 83. And there's a bunch of other episodes that have different versions of it. But this basically told you an alignment at the same time because the sellers dropped off. You know, buyers went up, sellers dropped off. This was an abandoned baby, came to the 5 minute reversal. This showed a reversal. Volume is telling you it's going up, you know, dropping with the sellers, going up with the buyers. I don't know what the level 2 said right then, but it probably might have given you more reason to do it. That would have been almost a perfect trade right there. I mean, you should have seen it. I would have seen it unless I was talking to you guys. And you jump in with 500 or 1,000 or whatever you can afford when you get a perfect lineup, and you hold your breath, you set a loss, but you know, that's a pretty big move. So what did that move go up from 841.11 all the way up to 840, almost 90 cents, 85 cents, 90 cents right there. So if you'd had 100 shares, that's $90. You have, 500 shares, that's whatever that is. So, but anyway, hundreds, like $4,500, $450. So one trade, I used to be a math teacher. Can you tell? That's terrible. Look at that. People talk to me about the sensitivity all the time, like, that's impossible. It doesn't do that. It must be a sim or something. Guys, this is not a sim. It's the sensitivity of of how I have it set up. This happens. And the way I've learned to read this is basically it didn't do this, right? But it's given you a little stronger idea. So if I were to read that in the open market, which is a shooting star, and/or you can't do an inverted hammer really, because that would be at the bottom of a trend. This would tell me in the open session this is going to go the other way. It would be a sign that it's going to go the other way. So reading those pattern. Let me see what the 1 minute, I just want to see what the 1 minute's saying here. Where are we? There it is. So indecision, shooting star here, and it was a gradual up. So yeah, So this is basically telling you that it's we don't have a grid here, unfortunately. I don't know where we are in the 5 minute here. What does that say? Yeah. So we're just about to, that's 6:30. Yeah. So we're just about to change. So this should really go red. If you were to read just the patterns, you would say that's going to go red. It's just in the extended market, it's real dicey. So you want to have the higher volume you have, the better for reading patterns. But and then being able to learning to hold is trading in the zone. And the best loser wins, 2 books. So the 1, 2, 3 volume, day trading volumes 1, 2, 3, best loser wins. You guys are tired of me saying it, but if you're new, get those books and trading in the zone. And anyway, so that's the perfect, I think this open strategy, if you watch, you should be able to build this. It's real easy. I went pretty slow, but you can watch it over and over. Watch it 20 times. That's what I would do. Anyway, so hopefully this was helpful, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. I've already got a couple RV videos in the queue, strategy, so I'll be putting those out this whole week. I've been doing really well with the RV strategy, so I'll be putting those out soon. So anyway, thanks for watching. Stay inquisitive. Stay green. Thanks, guys.